the most overrated expectation students have out of an MBA is
Package.
students who should not pursue an MBA.
Introverts.
One word in which you would describe today's MBA applicants.
Overconfused.
These days, everybody, on LinkedIn also, you must have seen, say, even on the global platforms, they don't need an MBA. They're like, okay, I have not done my MBA. We don't need degrees, we just need skills. So, how much is the truth in that? Do you think MBA is overrated?
Everybody has their own way of communicating things. But at the same time, MBA is neither overrated nor it is outdated.
Everybody says, learn leadership, you don't need an MBA. You want to start a company or do entrepreneurship, again, you don't need an MBA. So then where does this really hold value?
The students are themselves confused. If I am not mistaken, when we graduated,
Yes.
still there were some people who were doing MCOM.
Yes.
Have you heard anybody today doing MCOM?
Not really.
Anyone and everyone who is doing a graduation is made to believe that if I do an MBA, there are probably better chances of securing a job.
How would you suggest students to go about it?
Problem of today's generation is they are not flexible.
Just a few months ago, it was AI, and everybody is talking how they are including AI in their curriculum and all of that.
When any new thing comes up, people resist change. Now they are having this big phobia in their mind. If AI is coming, it is going to take jobs. What will happen to us? In India, everybody is a free advisor. I rather feel it will not take away jobs, but it will definitely scale up the skills which needs to be learned, and people have to be hands-on on how to use AI.
The MBA fees is slightly on the higher side, and a lot of students then pursue this as a luxury degree.
Seeking admission in a particular college, whether it is an Indian institution or a foreign institution which is now coming and offering studies, will not make me job ready.
They join the program and they take pride in quitting the program in between. Then they say that, yeah, I didn't need to do it. I just dropped off and I started my own job.
Listen to it, but don't frame an opinion.
Hello and welcome to Top Uni Talks, a podcast where we discuss education simply and smartly. Hi, I'm Ankita Sharma, co-founder of Top Uni Network. Today on this show, we have a distinguished guest known for his student-centric approach. He ensures that every student counseled by him is mentored and guided in such a way that his career is shaped in the most strategic manner. One person whom I met at one of the MBA Connect programs, and I was in awe of his counseling skills. He just made sure that the student understood the kind of journey he wants to get into, and very humbly, very politely, and very patiently answered each and every question that the parents had. He heads admissions and outreach at Jindal Global Business School, OP Jindal Global University. Please welcome Mr. Vikram Singh Tomar. Mr. Tomar has extensively worked in the higher education landscape. He has worked with institutions like UPES, Equi Business School. He has become a very trusted student advisor when it comes to parents and students who are seeking his guidance and counseling. Today on the show, we'll explore how his journey has been in education sector and how his admission strategy and planning has helped JGBS evolve. Thank you so much, Mr. Tomar.
It's a pleasure to be here, Ankita, and I look forward that whatever my experience is today, the students in future shall be able to derive some meaningful conversations out of what we speak today.
Yes, sir, certainly. So let's deep dive directly into the segment. Sir, I'd like to know that these days everybody, on LinkedIn also, you must have seen everybody on LinkedIn or say even on the global platforms, they don't need an MBA. They're like, okay, I have not done my MBA. Or they would be like, we don't need degrees, we just need skills. So how much is the truth in that? And do you think MBA is overrated or is it being misunderstood at this point in time?
So, on a lighter note, I keep on telling, everybody has their own way of communicating things.
Mhm.
But at the same time, MBA is neither overrated nor it is outdated. The only challenge is we need to update what exactly we are teaching for the generations to come. We are moving to the 22nd century, but if we are teaching something which is almost not acceptable now as per the industry standards, it will lead to people saying that there is no need to do MBA.
Very true.
But yes, the skills which you are imparting, that needs to be properly incorporated, and those skills are not just the bookish language or the knowledge. So the industry and academia interface is something which needs to be done in a bigger way what it was being done earlier.
Okay. Okay. So what you're trying to say is if it is done in a bigger way, it is still relevant. Otherwise, then it will not hold any value.
Of course, and I can, share an example to say what exactly I mean. So if you see typically what we do in India, any business school, after completing 1 year of their study, they put their children to do a summer internship,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And after doing 2 months of internship, then the students are asked to take an elective.
Yes.
Now you tell me, given the present situation when there is so complexity of jobs, how will this 2 month period good enough to decide that I should spend my 40 years in the area of marketing or
I totally
finance?
agree with you. I totally agree.
So these are the things which needs to be seriously looked upon, and therefore a 2 month internship or just a visit or two to the any industry will not give you the purpose to understand the need of the future corporate challenges. A continuous engagement in the form of guest lectures, in the form of CEO talks, inviting people will add real value, and then there will be no problem with the MBA at all.
Correct. So, coming back to the MBA, which is the burning topic right now, everybody says to learn leadership, you don't need an MBA. You want to start a company or do entrepreneurship, again, you don't need an MBA. So, then where does this really hold value? The MBA as such? And apart from that, if we see that, if we look at it from the Indian perspective, that yes, in India, the job market is such that students still do need an MBA to climb the ladder up quickly. So, what should students do while choosing their MBA journey? How should they go about choosing their MBA journey?
See, first of all, I feel the students are themselves confused.
Yes, that is very true. And that we come across this question a lot.
How does MBA as the most preferred postgraduate degree grew its importance? Nobody wants to do MCOM, nobody wants to do MA, nobody wants to do MTech. But over the period of time,
Yes.
anyone and everyone who is doing a graduation is made to believe that if I do an MBA, there are probably better chances of securing a job.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
If I am not mistaken, when we graduated,
Yes.
still there were some people who were doing MCOM.
Yes, yes.
Have you heard anybody today doing MCOM?
Not really. I feel that it must have died by now.
Exactly.
MCOM as a stream.
Why it died? Because we did not update the curriculum.
Yes.
Post liberalization after 2000, when the corporate world came into existence, a lot of roles came into existence with respect to marketing, finance, HR, operations. Now people talk about data science. But to make a career in the field of data science, you need to have a command on data.
Yes.
You cannot just
Certainly.
simply say, yeah, I want to be a business analyst, but you don't know programming languages, you like Python, R, Tableau.
Yes.
Therefore, this kind of a change is coming up. And therefore, if you really want to sustain by doing an MBA, student need to dive down while choosing a right college for themselves. And that doesn't mean going ahead with a full-fledged news article, one-page ad, somebody promising an X package.
Yes.
Because, these are all myths now. The students, I feel very, surprised when they come to higher education institutions. They are not bothered even to talk. So who is going to teach me? Sir, with whom I will be spending my next 2 years of journey? The first thing first. Sir, what is your average package?
They are not asking the deeper questions.
Exactly. So I feel the mindset and the attitude of the student of today need to be corrected first of all. That placement is an outcome of performance.
Yes.
Performance comes from learning.
Yes.
Learning will come from your curriculum,
Yes.
which will be imparted from the faculty.
True.
So it is a top-bottom approach where ultimately placement is the outcome. But if any institution is keeping these pillars intact, and if a student is committed and consistent, he just needs one job.
Yes. Okay. So, talking about mindset and talking about making the right choice, how would you suggest students to go about it? Like in a step-by-step format, if you could just list it out.
So I have been talking to many, people who are from the industry at various levels and who are the parents who belong to me at our university. And I keep on asking them, sir, what is your take on this? The same question what you asked.
Yes.
The biggest problem of today's generation is they are not flexible.
They're not flexible. Yes.
They come in their own dream fancy world where they think that, okay, fine, if I am paying, let's say, 20 lakhs for 2 years for an MBA, after completing my 2 years of MBA, I should get a job which is around 14-15 lakhs. For them, this is an ROI. I ask them, is your first package a determinant of what you call as ROI? Or is it something which will happen for the next couple of years, how you scale up, where you go after your first break or your second break? So, first of all, flexibility needs to be there. Second, I feel today's generation also need to learn about something which is called as interpersonal relationships. This is very, very problematic.
That skill is dying.
That is dying. That has already died. If you see, most of the Indian families today have one children.
One child, yes.
Correct? Mostly one child is there. If there are 3 or 4 members, if they are sitting on a dining table, they are busy on their mobiles.
Yes.
Correct? Now the biggest problem is, if you talk of anything, it is always said man is a social animal.
Yes.
We all have heard about it.
Yes.
Now you tell me, what is socialness and where is socialness left in today's time if we are not communicating with each other, if we are not talking with each other, and we have to work with people? So if you say, I'm a team player, you have to be with the people.
That team playerness. Yeah.
You have 100% right to disagree, but to disagree also you need to communicate.
I agree.
So this is something which I feel if today's generation will focus, and also the business schools will try to imbibe in their curriculum, the landscape of MBA will again change.
Yeah. The landscape of MBA is actually changing. Just a few months ago, it was AI, and everybody is talking how they are including AI in their curriculum and all of that.
You are right.
So,
because we often, when any new thing comes up, people resist change.
Yes.
Correct.
Definitely.
Now they are having this big phobia in their mind. If AI is coming, it is going to take jobs. What will happen to us? And then, I particularly on a lighter note, again, I'll say, in India, everybody is a free advisor. You want an advice, you don't want an advice. And with social media coming up, now it is widely spread when people put anything on LinkedIn or any other social media platform. And then we get carried away. I rather feel it will not take away jobs, but it will definitely scale up the skills which needs to be learned, and people have to be hands-on on how to use AI.
Very well said. If we adapt ourselves, then there will definitely
Exactly. So it used to happen 20-30 years ago also.
Yes,
You need
yes.
to unlearn.
Yes.
You need to relearn.
Relearn. True.
Same thing is
Very
happening. Nothing
Very
new.
well said. Yes. So now the shift is that a lot of new universities are coming up in India which are having their foreign campuses. So like University of Southampton, Queen's University. So when these universities are coming in, Do you think that Indian universities will scale up their game and change their curriculum to meet the competition, or do you think there's going to be a drastic change in the industry pattern?
See, I feel anything when new comes into any particular sector, definitely there is something in terms of settlement. The dust will take its own time
Yes.
because everything is now with respect to the expectations. India is a very huge market where, if you talk about the B school particularly, we have around 22 IIMs in our country. Then there are certain standalone business schools which are there.
Yes, yes.
Correct? And this top 50 points where different institutions are being ranked in India, it's highly competitive. Now, if any university, without naming anyone, is planning to come and offer studies in India, I feel they have done their own homework in terms of finding why at all they should be coming into this
Right.
space.
Right.
But yes, I don't feel it is a point of fear to any of the existing institutions which are there. And competition always brings something new on the table. So let's stay positive. Let's collaborate. Why to fear from them?
Right.
If there is anything new, I am always a firm believer that collaboration will always bring something new, both to them also and to us. They don't know about what's the Indian mindset. Because if you talk about Indian students are only worried about placement.
You've read my mind. I was coming to that because when we also speak to students, everybody is like, okay, mera placement yahan ho jayega. Will I get a job at PwC? If I join your B school, will I be able to get a job at Google? Then these are the kind of questions. They are not reflecting back on what they are actually doing or what is the curriculum that they are getting into. Is it making them ready for that or not? They are just getting mesmerized by the big names,
Yes.
joining the campuses, and then facing the reality.
So that is why I'm saying we are all, as students of today, living in our own world where we are not thinking beyond. Seeking admission in a particular college, whether it is an Indian institution or a foreign institution which is now coming and offering studies, will not make me job ready. I keep on emphasizing to the students that look, you must also nowadays, when you choose any business school for yourself, must focus about the diversity of students. Diversity not just geographically but academically. So if you are sitting in an MBA class, if you have a good mix of students coming from science, commerce, law, journalism, the business problems which are being discussed, they get exciting. So I feel it's very, very important, and it's an era of collaboration rather than fearing that any new partner is coming and what will happen to my share.
Yeah, collaboration will make things easy for the students also. They will also get to learn from better.
And in fact, for the
Learn
faculties
from-
also,
Yes.
there are faculty exchange program, faculty development program. They can learn something from the Indian faculties. Indian faculties can learn from them, and we can adopt the best practices which can make things better.
better for the students.
Exactly.
Definitely. Yes, end of the day, everything is for the students.
They are the future.
So, if I'd like to put it this way, that slowly we are seeing the MBA fees is slightly on the higher side. And a lot of students then pursue this as a luxury degree. They join the program and they take pride in quitting the program in between and saying that, like, I don't want to name, but yeah, then they say that, yeah, I didn't need to do it. I just dropped off and I started my own journey. So, do you think the way these influencers, I would call them influencers because these are the people who are majorly influencing the youth these days. So, if they say these kind of statements, do students take them in the right stride? Or most of the times, I feel personally that they take it in the stride that, okay, even I don't need to do it then.
You have picked up a very, very challenging situation which is happening with this term influencers. Especially in the last couple of years with the advent of social media, now coming on Instagram, now on threads and reels. I feel not everyone is doing their part of the job responsibly.
Yes.
And it is more toward, it is not counseling, first of all.
Yes.
Counseling doesn't mean you have to criticize a particular institution.
I totally
And if in case your product, your degree is that valuable, a student will be automatically attracted to
drawn
it.
to you. Yes.
So you must, as a student, listen to it, but don't frame an opinion. The way they pamper it and they show it, it creates a very negative impact, and it should be avoided. With respect to fee structure, I would like to tell you that to run an institution, a B school, we need a lot of resources.
Okay.
Okay? It is
Okay.
not like an engineering campus where you need labs, but you
Right.
need access of journals. You need access to the right kind of faculty.
Okay. Yes.
Okay? So if let's say there is a professor who has his or her PhD from an IIM, and
Yes.
that too from IIM Ahmedabad or Bangalore or any top institution, you need to remunerate them
Yes.
accordingly.
Yes. Yes.
Am I right? That is number one.
Certainly.
Number two, you may not need a 100-acre campus to offer an MBA program, but then the infrastructure plays a very important role.
It does.
And therefore, the standard fees I feel is going fine. It all depends upon the pockets of the people also, what they are ready to pay. So there is no harm. I think there are MBA colleges which are offering a per annum fees of even 2.5 to 3 lakhs. There are MBA colleges which are offering a fees of 7 to 8 lakhs per annum. Also, maybe 10 lakhs.
Going by this, so the students, what would you advise? Should the students look at the fees and just look at the fees per se, or should they see why is the cost whatever the cost is? So should they calculate the cost so that
Absolutely.
they get a better
ROI.
ROI.
What
Yeah,
do you say?
ROI, exactly.
This is the most dangerous term, ROI, because it
Yes.
has not been explained properly to the students. Can you compare an Apple iPhone with a Vivo or Oppo? Tell me.
Definitely not.
Why? When both the products are giving you the opportunity to make calls, to navigate through the apps.
Yes. Yes.
So why is someone ready to put 1.5 lakhs to buy an iPhone when another product is also giving you the same flexibility of operations? There is a difference. If you buy an iPhone, the main feature of an iPhone is a guarantee of your data security. Am I right?
True. True.
So similarly, it is education. If somebody is charging, let's say, an X amount, you have full right, you have full responsibility to navigate, do your research properly, not just get carried away superficially looking at and asking what are the past packages, what is your average salary. Focus more on faculty, curriculum, industry connect, and the diversity of the students. If you are convinced, you can convince anybody on earth.
True. True.
But if
true.
you yourself are not convinced, no influencer or no Mr. Vikram Singh or Miss Ankita can do anything for you.
Very true. So, realistically put together, students should look at certain factors before joining any college that they would want to.
Money cannot buy everything. Na? I may have an expectation I want to join an IIM.
Yes.
But then, in order to join an IIM, I should have a decent percentile which is their cutoff.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
I may have a very good percentile, but then my pocket is not allowing. Then the story doesn't end. Can I try if there are any sort of scholarships? The students don't think up to that level.
Yes. Yes.
That's the problem. They just face a problem and they stop there. That's the wrong mindset which they have.
So, to change this mindset, what would you advise the students?
I would simply advise them research.
Research on what aspects?
Research on everything. First of all, see, everything depends on two factors. My financial affordability, my academics affordability.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay.
If I know my limit is, let's say I can invest 20 lakhs in a particular program. Let's say MBA itself.
Right.
And my father is willing to pay and I can afford 20 lakhs. Now, the second question is, where do I stand academically in terms of the percentile
Yes.
which I have got.
Yes.
I may have a 40-50 percentile. I am expecting that I should get a college call from someone who is having a minimum expectation of 70-80. That is wrong.
That will not happen.
So we have to learn the art of balancing. That's the most important thing which is required everywhere. And then when you see that, okay, fine, this is it. Then you make your own priority list of not more than 3 to 4 colleges.
Okay.
People are, I think, I keep on telling it to the undergrads, these things, that are you choosing a college or are you choosing a course? They apply for 10 different colleges.
Most of the times they're choosing colleges.
That's the problem.
Yes. Yes.
If you ask them, what specialization you want to do? It's not decided.
Yes.
You would be surprised, you would be rather shocked to know that 90% of the students who are aspiring for MBA don't know what is the difference between MBA and PGDBM.
That's the sad state of affairs.
Exactly.
That is the
So
sad
that's the
state.
biggest problem. You don't have your basic fundas correct and you are asking for placement.
Correct. Yes. It is what it is.
Yes, but Rome was not built in a day. We need to stand up. We need to sensitize these kids, because merely taking admission in any particular college will not guarantee you a job.
Well said.
Your parents can only pay the fees. College can only give you an ecosystem. Ultimately, it is you who have to go and sit and clear an aptitude test and an interview.
Yes. You've really put it really well. If I have to sum it up so that the listeners today, they can take back home ki okay, mujhe ye kaam karna hai and I'll be sorted. So what would that advice be?
First of all, don't give your ears to everyone.
Okay.
The moment you give your ears to everyone, you will stop differentiating between music and noise.
Brilliant.
Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Number 2, as I said, look for where your exactly pocket allows you. Financial thing.
Okay.
Okay. Then be flexible. Don't just think that I should be limited geographically to pursue a master's or an MBA from my own place. That's a wrong approach. We are in a global environment today. The more you meet with different kind of students, the better you are prepared for tomorrow. So flexibility comes into picture. When you zero down 3-4 colleges, please start researching about those colleges. And researching doesn't mean just navigating for 5 minutes and 10 minutes once and making an opinion about it.
Okay.
Spend 10 minutes per college, per week. Check about what is life inside classroom, what is life outside classroom. Try to connect with few of the alumni,
Yes.
but
yes.
not asking them, ma'am, how's the college? Ask, ma'am, what would you suggest me that you achieved something when you were pursuing your studies that is helping you professionally?
True.
Correct?
True.
Try to connect with the faculty. I keep on telling students, when you decide that I have to do marketing as a specialization, what is stopping you to go to the website of those particular business schools, checking the faculty profile? What is the faculty himself in terms of the academics background? Where are the research papers they have published? What exactly is the learning which is being brought to the classroom? So nobody is bothered to do this much of work. They
True.
want everything cooked. They just want you take 15-20 lakhs from us and after 2 years you promise a job of 15 lakhs. That's not going to happen.
That is not going
That is not going to happen. And that is why people are commenting now on social media and saying that you don't need to do an MBA.
Yes. Now I can see the vicious circle.
Exactly.
This is why, yeah. So I'll ask you 5 quick questions and I want you to give an answer in one word. I know it's going to be tough, but
One
please
word.
try. Yes, only one word.
Okay. And if I meet your expectations, what is my reward?
Students will get the reward.
Oh my God. Please continue.
Okay. So if we say that the most overrated expectation students have out of an MBA is
Package.
okay, one quality that will guarantee MBA success?
Teamwork.
Okay. Students who should not pursue an MBA.
Students who should not pursue an MBA. Introverts.
Okay. One change every B school needs to implement immediately.
Integration of academia and industry.
Okay. What should be first in order? Entrepreneurship or MBA?
I think with the complex situation, it is important to do an MBA and then enter into the entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
And if I may elaborate why I am
Yes,
saying,
please. Yes, please.
because MBA is not just about getting a degree. An entrepreneur is one person who is supposed to do finance, marketing, HR,
Yes.
operations. So he's an office boy, he's a CEO.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
And therefore, if you want to go into the entrepreneurial side also, my personal take is after doing an MBA, work for 2 years under some startup, try to see all those things at his or her stake, and then venture into your own business idea.
Smart answer.
Thank
Actually,
you.
smart route.
Yes.
And to sum up today's discussion, one word in which you would describe today's MBA applicants.
Over confused. Not
I
confused,
expected
over
confused.
confused. They are over confused.
On this, I would like your elaboration, please.
So I keep on saying life is all about what choices you make and what excuses you don't. This is not just a statement, it is a very powerful statement because you are making a choice. Choice of 3 things: investing your parents' hard earned money, investing your dreams, holding the responsibility of the institution also because you are going to be the future ambassador.
True. True.
Therefore, they need to limit their choices. Don't make their mind a pressure cooker. Don't think that everything is percentile. Not everybody is going to get 99 percentile or 90 or even 80. But few things which are non-compromised: your personality, your communication, your confidence, and your clarity. If you have these 4 things intact, I think you are through. Everybody is willing to give you a good job. Every institution is ready to offer you an admission as well.
True. True.
So that's from my side.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tomar. It was wonderful having you here.
Thank you, Ankita.
I'm really sure that all our listeners today, the parents and the students, must have really taken back a lot from this conversation because we've addressed it all. You've addressed everything really in the most immaculate manner, I would say.
See, I speak from my heart. I
That
don't
I
like
know.
mincing words.
Yes.
Some people may feel it with a pinch of salt, but it is as it is. They are the future of our country. They have to face the reality.
Yes.
And if they are not facing it, merely by closing your eyes, it will not become a night, right?
Yes.
So open your eyes. If you want to dream, dream with open eyes now.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I wish you all the best for your channel, for your podcast. And I wish you bring more and more people from diverse backgrounds who can enlighten the future generations of our country.
That is the
It
mission.
has to be a Viksit Bharat, right?
Yes,
So
it
Viksit
has to
Bharat
be.
will happen how? Who will make it Viksit? These students.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tomar. Sir, it has been a pleasure, and I'm sure it was a pleasure for all of you who were listening to us today. This podcast has been a very, very insightful, and I'm sure you're going to take back a lot from the discussion that we had today. If you really enjoyed the discussions that we are having on our podcast, I would request you to please subscribe to our channel, like all our videos, and keep commenting with all the queries that you might have on your mind so that we can bring in guests who could answer all the burning questions that you might have. Thank you so much.